today?
Okay, so today we're going to learn completing the square. I've already written for you guys the heading already, completing the square.
Great.
How come it's like in this form?
So what's
Okay. So right now, this is completing the square. Why is it like that? Okay. Okay, so completing the square, today I'll be teaching 3 types of completing a square. So let's go through type 1. So I can start writing type 1. Type 1 is the easiest, okay? So type 1 is whereby the coefficient of x squared is positive. So you have to always check, not just positive, but it must be, it must be positive 1. Then next, group x term together. Next, let's do a recall of set 2 algebraic identity. So can you tell me, in set 2, what's the algebraic identity that you guys have learned?
X
Uh-huh.
X squared plus X squared.
I want A and B in the form of A and B. Uh-huh. How come I don't hear any brackets on? What? What's the algebraic identity that you learn in set 2?
Bracket A.
Uh-huh, bracket.
A minus. Oh wait, no, plus this.
A plus B, followed by close bracket square. So when you expand this, what do you get? Yeah. Which is what? A square plus A square plus 2AB plus B square. Then what's the second one?
A minus. Oh wait, no. Bracket A minus B plus
Bracket
A minus
B, yes. Close bracket square, yes. That will give me
A square minus 2AB plus B squared.
Yes, correct. So today we're gonna go onto a higher level of this set 2 algebraic identity that you have learned. So completing the square, right? Please take note. You need it for E-math and A-math. Okay? So this is very important. This is the fundamental of set 3 math. Okay, before I move on, guys, wait first. So, yeah, do not write. Thank you very much. So this is the question. So let's say the question is express x squared minus 6x plus 8 in the form of x plus a squared plus b. So what does that mean? So can you see that this is the form? Here, right? This is the form that they want, and this is all about completing the square. So this form meant completing the square form. Got it? Clear? So now I'm going to teach you how do you go from this person to this person. Okay? All right, I give you guys some time to copy before we start. Okay, so guys, listen very, very carefully, okay? So can you see, right? The first step, I told you to group all the x term together, correct? So in the bracket, only the x term is inside. So far, so good? Okay? Okay, so now what happened? Do you notice that I only put bracket for the x term? Right? So, can you see, guys, do not write anything first. Look here, very important. Can you see that? Here, can you see this a square? So this technically is your a square. Can you see that? Then can you see that here is which one? Is it scenario 1 or scenario 2? Here, you know, minus 6x. So is it your minus 2ab or plus 2ab? Minus 2ab, correct? So this is technically your minus 2ab. So far, so good? So if you know that your x squared and a squared, so therefore, what can I say? If I say a squared is equal to x squared, means I know that what is my a value? Yes. So from here, I know that, from here, guys, look, I know that my x is equal to a. Or rather, my a is equal to x, right? A is equal to x. Then what about my b then? So I know that here is x already, guys. Look here, look here. Minus, can you see that here, if a is x, correct or not? So I can say that minus 2b is actually your 6, right? So if minus 2b is your 6, that means that your b is how much? Minus 2b is equal to your negative 6. So how much is your b? How much is your b? Huh? Your b is how much? 3. So guys, can you see here, the next one is plus b squared? So it means that I can say plus what? 3 squared. And how do I get 3? There's actually a shortcut. Can you see here? There is 6, right? I technically take the 6 and just divide by 2 square. You understand? That's how I get plus 3 square. So the shortcut is just literally take this coefficient here and divide by 2. And no matter what case it is, it's always a plus. Why? Can you see? Even though here's a plus, here's also a plus. Even though here's a minus, here is still a plus. Remember, your b square is always a plus from your algebraic identity. So far, so good? Clear? So guys, because I introduce a plus, this is what I introduced, correct now, guys? Because this is what I introduced, I have to take away also. So what I'll do is, I will minus, okay guys, I got not enough space. I shouldn't have written this here. Minus bracket 6 over 2 squared. Because this is what I introduce. I intro here. So here I take away. So far, so good? And because I use round bracket, technically, can I use round bracket for here? I cannot. I must use a square bracket. So far, so good? Okay, I give you guys some time to digest first and copy this down before I move on how to proceed. All right, guys. Okay, so let's continue now. We already achieved this, right? So what is the next step? Listen very carefully. Are you all ready? Too bad. Not ready, also got to go. Okay, so right now here, guys, remember your algebraic identity is which one? Your algebraic identity belongs to only this person. Can you see that? The one that I highlight in blue?
Yes.
So what does that mean? It means that here, I can technically just take the x, put it in. So here is x, okay? Then what is the sign that I see? What's the sign? Yes, minus. So I put it in. Here will be minus. I hope you all follow the color coding. Do you all follow the color coding? Very important. Then next, over here. Can you see this person here? This person, but without the square, put it in. So what is 6 over 2?
3.
Yes, so it's 3, close bracket, square, right? Then followed by a, what's this thingy here? Because the blue one is only for all those, right? The blue one is only for here only. But we still have these leftovers here, right or not? So is this leftovers here? What's the sign first? Yes, minus what? Minus 3. Yes, minus 3 square plus 8. So continue again. So x minus 3 square stays as it is. What is minus 3 square? Minus 9 plus 8 is how much? Minus 9 plus 8. Plus or minus? Minus 9 plus 8 gives you? Yes, the end, finish. Okay, so now start copying all this. Then next, we're going to solve.
Oh, okay. I'm a bit good. I'm a bit lost. I'm a bit lost. Oh, you thought negative. Yeah, it doesn't really.
Don't forget to color code and circle the right thing. Then next, we're going to go about solving it.
Oh.
So guys, because of the keyword, they say hence. Hence means I need to copy paste this. You cannot go and expand. And then what about solving? The whole idea about solving is what? What's the whole idea about solving, guys? Yes, the whole idea about solving is right-hand side is equal to 0. Now, how do I go about doing it? Who do I have to target first? Yes, -1. So what do I have to do with both sides?
+1.
Very good, +1. So I have this person now.
Great.
So far, so good?
Yes.
Who do I need to get rid of next? How do you get rid of the square? So now I have this, right? Get rid of the square. What happens when we square root? Very good. Plus, minus. Plus, minus. So square root 1. What is square root 1? Square root 1 is how much actually?
1.
Yeah, so I can say x minus 3 is equal to 1 or
4.
what?
Wait,
Or x minus 3 equal to -1. So from here, I can say that x is equal to,
1.
how do you get 4?
Bring the.
Yeah, so what do I write? 1 plus 3. So x is equal to 4. Or x, what about for here? How do we solve this? X is equal to -1 plus 3. So x is equal to 2. So I have two answers. Either x equal to 4 or x equal to 2. So now you can copy this whole thing down. Then we'll move on to trying one of the question. Then after that, you'll let me mark.
I thought you there was like a pretty hard question that's gonna break our brains.
If you really follow my steps, you will not get it wrong.
I think this is fine. That's
on.
gonna actually give us a hard question.
So next, I want you all to try this question and let me mark. Try. Okay. Not able to write. Help. So try x squared minus 8. Oh my God. X squared. Help. You're not right.
Help.
What's going on? It's not like, oh no. Pardon this ugly drawing. Guys, I cannot seem to write, so I'll just type it out. So it's x squared minus 8x minus 15. Okay? So try this, x squared minus 8x minus 15. Let me increase the size.
Yes, please. Okay, so we got double minuses now. Oh,
Okay, this is what y'all can try.
sorry. Let's stretch out. Let's wrap our brains after this.
So right now, type 2, right, is a little bit different. It's more difficult. It's whereby your coefficient is now negative. Can you see that? Your coefficient is negative. So when your coefficient is negative, you have to take out your negative. So if I take out my negative, what am I left inside the bracket?
Positive.
Yeah, so what do I write?
Square.
Yeah, x squared. So x squared minus 8x. Huh? Why got minus 15 one? Minus 15 is not even touched. Only focus on what, guys? Only focus on the x term. So now, guys, can you see here? This is negative. Instead of round bracket, now it becomes square bracket. My plus 15 is still behind. So far, so good? So this one, this inside the bracket, I literally just copy paste. Copy paste, correct or not? Right? So what is the technique that I teach you guys? So right now, I will, what, plus or minus? Plus or minus, guys? Plus what? Plus?
8 divided by 2 square.
Yes, I need a bracket. 8 over 2 whole thing square. But because I introduce a 8 over 2, I need to take away 8 over 2 square. So far, so good? Next, can you see here? So what happens is I will have equal to negative, same thing, square bracket still, plus 15, correct or not, guys? But minus 8 over 2 will stay as it is. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to modify this person only. So modify this person to get my bracket square. So far, so good? So can you see here's an x. So x means I just copy paste x. And what sign is this? Minus, copy paste minus. And then I have this person, right? Copy paste. And 8 over 2 is just 4. So far, so good? Give you guys some time to copy before we move on to the next part. Okay, so we're going to move on. The next part is very, very important. Guys, listen up, hands down. So can you see the negative here? I'm going to expand out the negative right now. So negative goes to this person, this whole thing as it is. And negative goes to this whole person right here. So now what do you have? So I'll just write as negative. No more square bracket because I'm expanding out. Negative and negative gives me what? Negative and negative.
Positive.
Positive. And what's 8 over 2 squared? 4 squared is what? So it'll be plus 16, plus 15. And therefore, my answer is minus, copy paste this whole thing, plus 31. So far, so good? Okay, go, copy it out. Then we're going to practice one question.
Is it a solving question? Or is it like the same context?
So the next question I want you guys to try.
No.
Let me pause the recording. Okay, guys, we'll move on to type 3. Type 3 is the most difficult one. So type 3 is whereby your coefficient of x squared is negative. Okay, and is involving fraction.
Oh, hooray!
So this is the most difficult one. Yeah, so let's go. So right now we have minus 2x squared plus 14x plus 35, correct? So remember, the whole idea is that you must make your x squared positive 1. But right now my x squared is not positive 1. So what must I do? So from here, I need to take negative 2, right? So I take negative 2, the plus 35 will still stay as it is. So if I take out negative 2, what's inside my bracket now? X squared minus 7x, yes. So far, so good? Then now I can do my completing the square. So minus 2 stays as it is. The round bracket becomes square bracket plus 35. So far, so good? Then the x squared minus 7x will just copy paste, correct or not? So what do I have to introduce? Introduce means I put a plus what? Introduce who?
Plus 7 over 2.
Cannot just put 7 over 2, must put what first? Bracket.
Over 2 square.
Then because I introduced 7 over 2, so that means that, yes, take away 7 over 2 square. So far so good? Okay. So right now, I need to do my algebraic identity, right? The reverse algebraic identity for the one in blue. So I just copy paste this whole thing, copy paste, 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 copy paste. So right now, the blue one is something, something square, correct or not? So what is this one? So just copy, paste. Do I take x squared? No. Then what's the next one? What's the sign? Because here's negative. So here's also negative. Then what's the next one? Fraction. Let's leave it as fraction. Yes, that's 7 over 2. That's it. The end. So far, so good? Okay, so right now, I'll let you copy first. Ask before it gets too messy and too complex. Copy first, then we'll continue from there. Okay, so right now, guys, can you see here? I need to expand it out. I have a negative 2, right? Negative 2, when I put to here, there's no expansion. Just leave it as it is, just like just now.
Yeah.
But can you see this negative 2 will multiply with this person? This is when your calculator will help you. So what do you have to input in your calculator? Listen very carefully. Negative 2, like that. Whenever you have this arrow represents what sign?
Times.
Very good. Times. Then you must put a bracket. Understand? Negative first, followed by a bracket, 7 over 2 square.
Yeah.
Do not put a negative inside. It's totally different. Got it? Now, put this whole green thing into your calculator and tell me what's your answer.
It's 7. It's 7. Watch me again, watch me. Watch me again, watch me. It's faster. Why the mother one is doing it? It's 7.
Everybody has to do it. No, wrong. Go.
Give me, let me try. I think. Oh, I didn't square it. My bad. I didn't square it.
Put the whole thing into a calculator. What are you getting?
I did not square it. You don't square it. Okay. Go, my girl, go.
Speedy, speedy. Come on. What do you have in your calculator? Positive or negative?
Positive.
Positive, 49 over 2. So I have positive 49 over 2. Do you understand now?
Yeah.
So after that, from here, same thing, this whole thingy, put in a calculator and tell me what's your answer.
Whoa. Which one? Oh. Plus 35? Yeah. Oh, what is this number? Okay.
Improper. Come, plus or minus?
Plus
Plus?
59.
Improper.
What? 119 over 2.
That's it, the end. And congratulations, with that, you're done with completing the square.
Oh,
That's all.
I don't think I have.